announces even more spending in our near future. Rick Santorum is a former senator from Pennsylvania and a senior fellow at the Center for Ethics and Public Policy. Senator, thank you so much for being with us here. Okay.
Thank you.
I mean, it worries me. We always say that the government doesn't have any bullets left in case there's another financial crisis or another housing crisis, but legitimately, there might not be any bullets left if we have to go to war again.
Well, one of the things that, if you look at the folks that have set sort of the pattern for where Obama wants to go, which is Western Europe, what happened in Western Europe was that they greatly expanded the welfare state, the reach and scope of government, and guess what they had to do? They had to cut their military. They had to retreat from the world. They had to look inwardly, and as a result, we are carrying their burden. We are protecting them to this day because they decided to opt toward big government and big social welfare systems. That's what Hillary Clinton said. That was her first point. It's absolutely right. And we've been saying that. Many Republicans have been saying that for a long time, that we are headed down a road where we are committing ourselves to such huge domestic spending programs that we are going to have to defang the military and weaken our ability to be able to protect America.
So we have Admiral Mike Mullen saying the same thing just a few weeks ago. We have Secretary of State saying this, and yet it seems that the Obama administration is not listening. They're very much concerned with what's happening here in the United States. We saw it recently in his speech saying he was pulling out of Iraq, turned the speech to talk about the economy.
Yeah, there was an article a little over a week ago in the New York Times where it talked about Obama learning, the ropes as commander-in-chief, and the insiders at the White House said, look, that the president subjugates everything on foreign policy to domestic policy and to the politics that are around domestic policy. He didn't want to sacrifice it. There was a quote in the article. He didn't want to sacrifice losing the health care vote by doing something that was needed to be done in Afghanistan and Iraq. This is a president who doesn't understand what his principal responsibility is to the American public, and that is to protect this country, to be the commander-in-chief, and not to try to go off on some sort of ideological agenda to transform this country.
So what is that? How do we appear then to our enemies? We're not spending money. We're pulling out of these countries. Are they jumping around doing the happy dance, thinking they can come after us with no problem?
One of the ways we exert power, and this was Hillary Clinton's second point, which was a very good one. One of the ways we exert power is the fact that we are the economic engine of the world and have been for a long, long time. And as a result, because of that, people don't want to cross us. They understand that we can punish them in other ways through our economic might. And as we suffer economically because of this huge government expansion, because of this huge regulatory environment that we've created to stymie business production, we are going to be less of the elephant in the room. We're going to be less, not the gorilla in the room, the 800-pound gorilla. We're not going to be the dominant force on the world stage, and as a result, we will not have the respect that we've had in the past, been able to get the things that we want done to protect our country.
Right, and speaking of economics, does it worry you that our international trade deficit is looking at like $50 billion, and that cannot bode well for us going forward?
Well, the biggest part of that continues to be the fact that we are importing all this foreign oil, and now so we have a president who has moratoriums, a president who wants to wall off areas of the country so we can't drill for oil and natural gas. In my home state of Pennsylvania, we have the largest find of natural gas ever in this country, and we have Democrats. In fact, the man who replaced me in the United States Senate, who wants to put a big tax on it. We have the Democrat running for Joe Sestak running in Pennsylvania, who says we need to put a moratorium on drilling there. It just doesn't make sense that you go out and complain about trade deficits, you complain about jobs going overseas, and then you stop the very thing that will lower the trade deficit and create jobs in your own state.
Right. And unfortunately, we're continuing to hear this more and more, and that, too, our reliance on foreign oil also plays to our national security, or our lack thereof, and you got to worry about that going down the road.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that where is this money going? It's not the fact that we have this huge trade deficit. It's who's the trade deficit with. It's with people that are not necessarily friendly to our country. And the states in the Middle East, many of them are not friendly, as well as, of course, the big deficit to the Chinese, which wants to be the next big economic king on the block. They want to supersede the United States so their economic power can help them from the standpoint of national security.
Senator, I'm going to bring you back home to, I'm sure you heard the president speak earlier. One of the things he said was that the Republicans did not have a plan. We have a November 5th election coming up. everyone's hoping for a big sweep, but how are they going to do it if they don't offer some solid solutions?
Well, first off, Republicans have offered solid solutions. Republicans have been very, very clear about what to do. They offered an alternative stimulus package. They offered a variety of different things to counteract what President Obama has been putting forward, all of which were much more fiscally responsible than what the president would have resulted in lower deficits, I believe, would have incentivized business to grow, would have created stability, which is something that was vitally important. One of the things Republicans have advocated is extending the Bush tax cuts permanently, or at least for a long period of time, to give that sense of stability that was talked about with your previous guest. There are plans that are out there. Republicans have been very clear about it. They've been willing to work with the president, but the president didn't need Republican votes to pass the health care bill. He didn't need Republican votes to pass the stimulus package, and so he basically ran roughshod over them and did exactly what he wanted to do.
Yeah, and we'll be talking more to you, I know, between now and November 5th. And we caught you tweeting, we think, before you came on air, by the way.
You did. I
Santorum,
tweeted out, I'm coming. That's right.
Senator Rick Santorum, thank you so much. And again, I am sure we will see you plenty more times before November 5th, sir.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thank you. All right, coming up, as the president floats another round of economic